and today we will be presenting on our Bring Your Kid to Work Day.
All right, awesome. I'm Landon. I am the Student Council Vice President for my school.
I'm Ava. I'm the Secretary of our Student Council.
And hello again, my name is Nolan. I'm the President of Student Council.
So a quick little agenda for our presentation today. First, we're going to start with a little schedule overview. And then we're going to go into a breakdown of the event. Then we're going to discuss the planning and how you guys can bring it back to your school. Then we're going to go to purpose and reflection. And then we have time for all of your guys' questions. So.
All right, so on April 25th, all of our staff members, so this includes teachers, janitors, cafeteria aides, anyone that works in our school are invited to bring in their child, their grandchild, their niece or nephew. So then once they bring them in, we pair them up with student leaders from our school to spend the day with, and then we put on activities throughout the day for the kids to have fun, and as well as kind of like see what high school's like or what may like another school be like and see where their teacher or where their parents work.
All right, so that brings us into some fast facts. I'm going to try and go super fast here. The kids' ages range from 3 to 13. We cut it off at 13 because they're already getting ready to go to high school anyways. Student leaders are selected to supervise the children. We pick people with high positions within our school who are already associated with some kind of leadership within our school. And then 2 students from our student council are in charge of supervising the event. This helps with working with our advisor, making sure all the planning goes according. And then all staff are invited, so that bring librarians, janitors, everybody's invited to bring their kid. That brings us into security. We have to have security in place so we don't have kids lost or hurt. So the first thing that we do is have an LCN ID badge. This makes sure that we know who the kid is, we can identify them easily, and then we can also make sure that they're supposed to be here. The next thing that we do is have them have matching t-shirts. This helps with making sure that we know that they're paired up together and make sure that they're associated with the event.
So here we have our student leader schedule. Each student leader is going to get this schedule. It tells them their child's preferences and it keeps them on track for the entire day. Along with the schedule, they also do a student intro video, so that way the child is a little acquainted with them and they're not like scared or nervous when they first meet them.
So that leads us into our game break!
You guys all know the game Where's Waldo, but we're switching it up and we're playing Where's Matt Alley. So in a few seconds, your job is to find all the Matt Alleys on this screen, and when you guys find and count your number of Matt Alleys, please stand up and you guys may win a prize.
All right, first person to stand up, I'm calling on you. You better get it right. 3, 2, 1. Be careful, there may be an imposter among us.
You may see some fine gentlemen.
Okay, 1, 2. All right, we have our 2 winners.
What's the number?
We'll go
Oh,
15?
15.
15's right. All right.
Give it
Send
up.
home
We
with
have
some
some
LCN swag,
North Gear.
some North gear. Thank you for participating.
Okay, so here is our entire breakdown of our schedule throughout the day. So first hour we start off with just getting the kids into the school, going to their parents' office or classroom, and then second hour we start with a little pancake and games and icebreakers.
Moving right along to our third hour, this is our activity period. So we open our pool for the kids. They can swim if they don't want to swim. They can go outside, do chalk, do bubbles, or any other activities. Fourth hour is our lunch period. So the kids have pizza followed by an ice cream social.
And then we move to fifth hour. Fifth hour is their time to do a craft. This is how we bring an educational proponent to the day, get them doing a hands-on activity, and then we move to our fiesta. This is our good send-off for them. This gets them going home in a good mood, so their parent doesn't have to deal with it later.
Next we work into our cafeteria kickoff. So all the kids will go down to the cafeteria first thing in the morning and they take a group photo. After the group photo is taken, we split into 2 sessions based upon their age. So the older kids will stay back and they'll play games and stuff, and then the other younger kids will go and eat breakfast and do all that fun stuff. And then we flip-flop, of course. And during these games and icebreakers, the kids get to really get familiar with the group they're traveling with that day, as well as build that bond with their leader.
All right, next up we got the Breakfast of Champions. So to start the day, they have breakfast, and these breakfast is provided by our foods and nutrition class. So these kids are in charge of cooking our pancakes for us, and then after breakfast, they can kind of switch into the cafeteria games.
Okay, and then I'm going to talk to you about the hub of Bring Your Kid to Work Day. So, by show of hands, does anybody have an LGI at their school? Anybody know what that is? You back there, okay, perfect. So basically an LGI, it stands for Large Group Instruction, and what it is it's this large designated room in the middle of our school that you can book out for the day, and you can have any events you want in there. You can have a large class, or if you need just an activity to be in a bigger space. So what we use it for is, this is our hub. So everything goes in here, from coloring to games to movies. We have all of it going on all day in this room, as well as we give out our pizza and all of our other food throughout the day. So this tremendously helps with us running this event, and it makes it super easy. And the kids, if they need a time to go away and go in this room and just relax, it's always open for them.
So here's our pool party. This is where the kids get to go swim and have fun. Of course, their leader's gonna be supervising them the entire time, but not only that, we also make sure they pass a swimming test, so that way they can go in the deep end, they can jump off the diving board and things of that such. But also, we also have a lot of games for them. Marco Polo, we play with them. We have the diving board, obviously. Beach balls, diving toys, whatever you can name, we have it.
And I know you're asking, Landon, how are we gonna have lifeguards? All right, like, we can't just let these kids swim freely. Well, let's ask our buddy lifeguard Landon right there. To find lifeguards, an easy way to start is by asking your school's swim team. Most of them already have certifications because they teach classes in the off season or stuff like that. So easy ways to ask them. You can also offer community service. You can pay them, whatever works for your school best.
All right, so does anyone not have a pool in their school? All right, so there's a few. So this might be an issue, like if you want to bring this back to your school. So like we said, this hour is mostly for your activity. You want the kids to kind of burn that energy off. We're giving them sugar all day, fruit snacks, so they're kind of hyper. So some alternatives that you could do, you could open up your gym. You can have like a basketball tournament, a dodgeball tournament. You can go outside, do something like, depending on the weather, you can do like a water balloon toss. There's many alternatives that you can do, but like we said, we just kind of have this period to have the kids be active.
And I think that makes it time for a pop quiz.
So our question for you is, what do the kids do during fifth hour? First one to stand up. I want to see the final, yeah. Okay, what is your answer? Craft.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Craft.
All right, we got some sour punch straws for you.
Yeah.
We also have bubbles.
Wait.
Okay, so we're moving into lunchtime with the kids, munching on lunch. So the kids will be broken up according to their guardian's schedule. We provide pizza from them, from Marco's Pizza. We're very grateful for Marco's. They adjust to our time schedule, and they will come deliver early in the morning, and they also on rare occasions give us discounts, which is really nice. But also a movie is played while they eat, so something usually on Disney Plus, appropriate for the kids.
Speaking of lunch, does anyone need some juice boxes or some fruit snacks?
I know you guys want to.
Come on, some. Oh, yeah,
There you go. Yeah,
there you go.
Give him out, give him out.
Oh, I got you guys back there. I see you. All right. While we're passing that out, this is my personal favorite part of the day, is our ice cream social. So right after lunch, we have ice cream social, so we get ice cream sundaes. We have multiple different flavors. We just sugar the kids up because now they're tired again. So we kind of got to get them hyper. I mean, I enjoy my ice cream as well, so it's a win-win for everyone.
So now we go in crafting with the kiddos. Last year, our craft for the kids was slime. They really enjoyed this. It was really hands-on, a good break in the day. And also our craft really adds a fun educational component to the day. Lets them know they're still in the school, but we have fun at the same time. So we do have our empty lab that they go into, and a lot of our materials were provided by our assistant principal, which is very nice of them. Also, we do not have time to make slime today, but you all are going to go home with some slime, so do not worry. We have a package for you.
We'll give it to you later. All right.
Viva la fiesta!
Viva la fiesta. So to finish off the day, our wonderful Spanish 5 classroom puts on a fiesta for our kids. We like to do this because not only is it a fun activity, but it kind of gives them an insight like what high school foreign language class would look like. So it kind of gives us that other educational component. We have a big piñata, so the kids have fun with that. They get to have some nachos, and it's just a really fun fiesta.
So if your school's not suited for a fiesta at the end of the day, you can do a lot of other things, like for example, throwing on a movie, giving them a basket of candy and let them go crazy on it. Also just running outside, playing with bubbles, chalk, simple things. Doesn't have to be a big fiesta. You can keep it simple, and it's still gonna give them a nice closing ceremony for the day. It's gonna leave them on a high note and leave a really good impression of your school on them.
All right, so now you're probably wondering, you guys have a lot of events, so how are you guys setting this up or cleaning it up? So we don't want the kids kind of setting their activities up or cleaning their activity up. We want them to have a fun time throughout the day. So what we do is, for example, this past year, was not assigned a child. I was like the head babysitter in charge. So like I was able to set stuff up and kind of get it into transition phases. We also had available teachers and principals to kind of help set up and clean up everything. So like we said, we didn't want the kids kind of cleaning up. We wanted them to have a fun time.
That brings us to our next pop quiz.
Alright, well, he's already standing up. Our question is, what company provides our pizza? So what's your answer?
Oh yeah.
Marco's Pizza. There we go. Give it up. He's going home with some Sour Punch and Bubbles.
There you go. Thank you.
All right, so next is our logistics and how we gather materials. So what we found worked best was we created a sign-up genius to then have our wonderful student council advisor send out to our staff members. So this is great because we kind of put on, like, for example, we needed ice cream donations, we needed fruit snack donations, we needed bottle of water donations. We also put on, if the teachers wanted to give just a $5 donations for games and prizes, just to kind of help offset any costs, so that way we were not spending too much money on this event.
Now we get into our purpose. Our purpose of the event really serves three groups of people. It serves our high school students and leaders, our staff, and the kids coming to visit throughout the day. So your high school students will also get this opportunity to not only bond with the kids that are there, but also bond with their teachers. It creates a better learning environment for everyone in the classroom, and they get to look at their teachers' home life, as well as they get to bring their home life to the school for the kids to all, like, kind of get together and collaborate on things. But it also serves a purpose for our children who get to see what their parents do or the family member and see how they work outside of their home life.
That brings us to getting started. So if you want to bring this event back to your school, what I recommend doing is you talk to your Stuco advisor. What your Stuco advisor is going to do is they're going to send out a Google interest form. This Google interest form is going to ask people, are you interested in bringing your kid? What are your kids' names? What are their ages? What do they want to participate throughout the day? This helps us build our schedule that we end up giving to our leaders. And then planning for this event, we start about the beginning of March, and then we run to about a week before the event. So we're just making sure that we get times, we make sure everybody is signed up, and that's about it. So and then on here is a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is taken from our Google interest form, and it basically just lays it out for you. So we have the last name of the child, then we have their age, then their shirt size, who they're paired up with, and then Y means yes, N means no, and that's how we determine what events they're going to be participating in.
And this is a live document as well, so obviously not everything is filled in, and then this is how we can get their preferences for that student leadership paper that Ava was previously talking about.
Yes, and then we also keep track of their lunch so they can have lunch with their parent, just so they're not away from their parent all day. And then we keep track of if they've paid or not. This helps make sure that we can track down people who haven't paid. That brings us to another pop quiz.
She was standing up. Oh yeah.
There we go.
There we go. All right, I'll run to get your prize.
Give it up. She is also going home with Sour Patch Kids and a thing of bubbles.
Okay, so now we move to our pricing breakdown. We start with the overall participants and their costs. So the overall was $540 and there's some special gifts. So we also have our t-shirt orders, which was around $1,000. But this includes t-shirts for our student helpers, which we just gave to them for free. So that's why the cost is so high for that one. Our pizza is $170, again with some discounts from Marco's Pizza. And then our lifeguards were $60. But if you do not want to pay your lifeguards, you could also give them community service instead to cut down on those costs. Our breakfast was around $60, but again, a lot was covered by donations from the staff. Our Spanish fiesta around $75, just the piñata, candy, stuff like that. Our slime was $100, but we also had a lot of donations from our assistant principals. And land union clear badges, again, covered by the original fee at the beginning, $55. And our face paint, another $50. Ice cream and snacks were all covered by our staff as well as the games and prizes. Our grand total was around $1,030, but our biggest event of the year, obviously homecoming, paid for a lot of this, so we had to use a lot of donations from the homecoming pot from this.
Okay, this brings us into options to offset the cost. So we know that $1,000 isn't realistic for everybody to spend, But one thing you can do, like Ava said, is bring community service for your lifeguards, or you can have students bring in donations and give them hours for it. You can also have a company-sponsored t-shirt. I know a lot of people will do it for their charity weeks and stuff like that. You just go and ask businesses around your area, local, big corporations, whatever you want to do, see if they'll sponsor your shirt. They can pay you, I don't know, however much money you want, and then it covers the shirts. Then you can hand out the shirts for free. Another way is staff donations. Staff love this event and they would love to help out in any way they can, so they will be more than willing to donate some food or some juice boxes, anything like that. A last one is to utilize what your school has already. Obviously, like our school has a pool. You want to figure out what works best for your school. What does your school have that the kids would be interested in participating in?
All right, so here's our staff testimonials. So we kind of reached out to our staff. I'm not going to go through to read all of these, obviously, but we reached out to our staff members, just kind of give their feedback and how they enjoyed it. The staff was very positive about it. They're saying that their kids look forward to it almost every year. They say some of them it's almost excited as Christmas. So all the kids really love this event. It's a very positive event that we love. Staff members love it, the kids love it, and our students love it. So it's a positive feedback.
So our reflection and growth throughout the years has been tremendous. We started out in 2010 with around 20 kids, and now we have improved to 45 kids, which is great. The assigned student leaders were, back in 2017 they all started, so that really grew the attendance for us. Student helper t-shirts and intro videos were added in 2022, and our head student helper, the very first one, Nolan, in 2023.
Yeah.
Staff money donations were also added in 2023, which again cut back on a lot of the costs for us.
Awesome. So this is a good QR code. I recommend you scan this. This has access to all the documents that we've used today. If you want to take any of these home, it has our interest form. It has the presentation itself. So if there's anything on here that you want to look at a little bit more, it's all on this presentation. Yeah.
Let's take some time to scan that.
Everybody got it? Anybody need any more time?
Cool.
All right. And that leads us to our social medias. If you guys want to add us on Snapchat, email us, or Instagram us, that's all there. You're also welcome to take a picture of that. Everybody got it? Anybody waiting on it?
We have time for questions. We started already.
Okay.
And then here's a little plug to our school store on Instagram. They kindly donated us those t-shirts that we handed out. Without them, we wouldn't be able to give away cool giveaways. So if you feel a courtesy, you can give them a follow.
And speaking of, who wants another t-shirt?
We have time one. What should we let him do?
Matt, come up with a pop quiz question. Just do one.
All right, I'm just gonna launch it. I'm just gonna throw back. All right, I'm gonna do like the wedding toss. Hey! Nice. All right.
That leads us to say thank you. We want to thank you guys for listening to our presentation today. We hope that you were able to take away something from this and bring it back to your school. We'd love to help you guys out in implementing this in your school. Okay, that leads us to questions. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? Yes.
So, do you guys do this during the school day? If so, how do you separate the kids from after school?
Okay, so yes, we do this during the school day, and then how we separate them is throughout the day we have the activities planned when the students are in class, so they're not really interacting with different high school students. But then during our passing time, we tell our student leaders to either stay in our gym, in the cafeteria, or in our hub, the LGI, so the kids aren't interacting. Everyone knows how hectic high school passing times are, so we don't need those little kids getting trampled. So we find ways to kind of get them away from that. So.
And just for asking that question, you're getting Western candy.
And then also, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the parents, if they're bringing in their kids, they're not going to have a very strict lesson plan that day. They're kind of going to have a fun day because they know their kid's going to be there and want to work with them. You. Yeah, so if they say no to doing a certain activity, we usually just take them back to their parents' room or take them to the hub. Either one's fine, but they do have the opportunity. The first hour of the day is always really designated to the first 30 minutes-ish, they're with their parent and they get to interact with all the other students and stuff, and it's a fun day, so.
Yeah, and the student leaders really make sure that they pop in occasionally, you know, not interrupting the class, but occasionally they pop in, so the kids get to look at what their parent is actually doing throughout the entire day.
Yeah, like when I let a kid, like I would go back around every single hour and just check in with his mom, make sure everything's going good. So, yeah. Yep.
What are some issues that you guys have seen that have come up, and how do you guys resolve those?
One issue we had last year, unfortunately, two kids were playing catch with the football, and one kid got drilled in the face and his glasses broke. Unfortunately, thankfully he wasn't hurt at all. He was older. I think he was like middle school, so it was just kind of like oh man, like that kind of happened. I was in the gym. I kind of helped calm him down. But other than that, there has been really like any big issues. The kids actually behave very well. Our high school student leaders, we kind of like give them like a little prep talk, like, hey, if something bad happened, just calm them down, or worst case scenario, you can bring them back to their parents. But we've been very fortunate, like this will be my 3rd year doing this, and we've been very fortunate not having major issues at all.
A lot of it helps with us having our security system in place, like no kid will get lost, and we have our hall monitors who are always patrolling the hallways, and we have a school resource officer, so that helps ensure everything. Did you have a question?
Do you have parents sign waivers for the pool?
No. So basically, we have that little test. You don't remember what you want to take that one? Talk about the test.
Oh, yeah, so they have a swimming test, and their parent kind of fills out some of the things that they think they can do, and then we also kind of start them off in the shallow end, and then they move on, and we'll see who's there. And oftentimes, obviously, we have our lifeguards there, which are keeping an eye on them the entire time as well, but also help to test them.
Right here.
So I think it would be cool if our school did something like this, but our school does something called a lock-in,
Okay.
where like on like a Friday or Saturday, like kids come to our school after school hours, and they're there for like 5-6 hours, and they have a bunch of activities they can do, like you guys do with yours.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I mean, you can do both. We do it on April 25th because that is like the national Bring Your Kid to Work Day. But I do like both ideas. I think like, especially if you want to tie them away from the high school students, because we know how high school students can be. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right there.
How did you guys choose your student leaders?
What was the question? Sorry.
Okay, so basically, we pick people. So me and Nolan were in charge of like organizing the entire event. He's president, I'm vice president, so it just kind of like fell into it. We have people from our executive board kind of do it.
It works out well. You
in the back?
So you mentioned that you guys use homecoming funds that you guys have to offer.
Yeah.
What was like one of the biggest key like in fundraising for homecoming? I know last year was fundraising for like charity week, and not so much for homecoming.
Yeah, so our homecoming, like our funds from homecoming came strictly from our homecoming tickets. So our tickets are $25 a piece, and I think we had about like 800 students attend our homecoming. So that's where a lot of our money does come from. So thankfully, like there's really no set like fundraising. We kind of just use that profit from homecoming to use that. But yeah, like if your school needs to fundraise, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. Like our cheer team example went around and took like the collectible cans and turned them in for those 10 cents. So there's lots of ways. Yep, got a question?
How did you guys keep the older kids separated from the younger kids? Because I know like sometimes like middle schoolers are obviously gonna say things that like a 3-year-old like might not be able to hear. So like in like the pool or like when just doing activities in general, how did you kind of like keep that boundary?
Yeah, great question. So when they fill out the scheduled preferences, like we have their age on there. So like for example, like a middle schooler maybe wouldn't want to go get their face painted. So like we kind of set up different activities that are almost age specific. But when they're together, like if they're in the gym together and they're in the pool, we, like our student leaders, like we tell them like, hey, just watch what you're saying, just kind of be nice to the kids, remember they're younger than you. But they've been very cooperative, like everyone's super nice to each other, everyone gets along.
There's been some kids who will talk a little crap in basketball, but you just humble them, you know, like oh, you can't even score, and then I just like the shot, but you know.
Okay, we'll go with you in the bank.
Do you guys do the same activities every single year, or do you switch it up?
Well, for our craft, we switch up every year. Some of the crafts we've done in the past is like shrinkinks. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's kind of like those like little like wax paper things, and they kind of shrink up. But we do different crafts every year, and we usually do pizza, you know, for lunch to keep it simple. And our ice cream social is always a big hit, so we keep doing that every year as well. Everything else pretty much stays the same, but we do switch up our craft.
Okay, I'm gonna start handing out some of this slime for you guys. What's your question?
So,
Here, just take some.
when people have a face paint, do you make sure they either don't have a face paint or make sure they take it off when they get in the pool?
The face painting is after the pool, so it's more later in the day, kind of before the fiesta, so we don't have to worry about that mess or anything. We'll go with you, Neil. Yep.
How many lifeguards do you have in your guys' pool?
I believe we had around 2. I would say 1 to 2. So yeah, it was pretty good. There's not many kids that did sign up. I think there was a good amount, but you know, it wasn't crazy, it wasn't overcrowded, so they kept a good eye on them. You right behind her? Oh, yes, we do. So we offer other options for kids throughout the day. We have plenty of snacks, you know. We go through gluten, vegan, vegetarian. We go through those options, and we make sure that every kid does have something, you know, including the ice cream bar. We also make sure, like, nuts and that stuff is separated from everything else.
Do you have any teachers or staff that have kids with special needs? Do you guys assign specific trainers to them specifically address?
Yes, we will, just because, so again, the leaders that we pick are the best of the best in the school, and we really go through and analyze each person, so we make sure that each student leader is accommodated to that child. All right, any other questions? Oh, there.
I just got a small question. How big is your school? Like, how many people do you guys have? Like, how big is yours?
So we have around 1,600 kids in our school, so a lot, but not like crazy amount. And then our school is it's bigger than your average school. We're a Class A Division I big school. So.
And our student council is around a little over 70 people, I want to say.
So like while the students are learning and like the parents are teaching, are the kids like just doing activities, or are they like actually watching their parents like working and doing their job?
So like we said before, they do all these activities. We make sure that if the child signed up for it, they're going to get to it. But again, we will pop in if they have free time, or you know, there is downtime during the day. We'll pop into their classroom so they do get that inside look, and they can bond with the students in there as well, and kind of just bond with their parent overall in their work environment. So we do always try to pop in and make sure.
Yeah, you in the back?
Do you think this is still possible for smaller schools? There's less than 100 people in my graduating class.
What school do you go to?
Multifamily.
Gotcha.
I think you 100% still put this on. I mean, it doesn't. How many kids would you say is on your student council? Do you think?
We're leaders. Okay.
I think you 100% could still put this on because again, if you have a smaller school, you're going to probably have less teachers. So less teachers, less kids. It could still happen for sure. I think if you guys just work hard at it, you'll be good.
I think it would also help like further tightly knit your community, like because I'm sure you live in like a small town and you probably know everybody in your town. Yeah, so like your teachers, you can become friends with their kids and like you build better connections with them.
Yeah, you in the blue?
So like how many kids on average would come like each year?
Like the small kids, usually about 30 to 45 per year.
Yeah. We were at 45 last year. We're anticipating to increase that number, but we've been around 35, 45 since we started.
Yep.
Do you think this could be turned into a fundraising event for like some sort of charity if you kind of like use more resources like your school?
Yeah, I think it would. Like we could do something like that. Like for example, like if we were to do T-shirts, then that T-shirt money could go to that charity. We've never thought about doing that yet, but I think that's something that would be cool maybe the next couple of years that we can maybe implement. But I think there would be ways to like find to make that a charity event. Yep.
Please, I have 2 questions.
Of course.
So does the cost of the, like when the parents pay for their kids, does the cost of that, does the money go towards the t-shirts?
Yeah, so the money goes toward their T-shirt and then kind of partially towards the ID badge. Like unfortunately, like they're like our school IDs, so like they have to print them and everything like that. So that helps kind of like offset that cost. And then if they say they want to pay a little more for their T-shirt, or like staff donations kind of also help cover that. But then yeah, that initial payment goes towards that T-shirt.
Okay, and also, when you have like the student leaders, do they get like excused for the whole day? And is it like, does your admin ever have issues with that?
So they get a school business issued absence, so it does not count towards their attendance record. For example, like our school does a STEM program, so like I do this. So I go to high school, then I also travel to another school for a math and science class. Last year, our math teacher at that STEM program kind of just complained to me like oh they're missing because of this. But it hasn't been like a super big issue because like majority of our staff members from our school participate in the events, so they understand. Then those teachers at those other buildings kind of don't understand that, so that's one issue we have ran into, but it hasn't been like a super big deal.
Yeah, and then I took AP Chemistry last year, so for those of you who take AP, it's right around like May, and that's when exam time is. I was able to coordinate with my teacher. I was able to go in there for 1 hour, get the material I needed, and then leave and go right back to it, so it works.
Do student leaders ever like go to their own classes to like make sure everything's like?
You'll check in with your teacher like the day before or something like that. Those fruit snacks?
Oh, sure.
All right, I think that is all the time we have.